So welcome back. Business model innovation now, and I will not be long on that section. I think we have already captured a few elements, and you left some readings about it. But clearly, it's a prerequisite today. Why? Because clearly we're living today in a world with increased volatility, and yeah, there are just more and more changes, and so it makes by itself business model innovation an important strategy for driving value, creating growth. So it can business model innovation. It can be deployed either to defend or to disrupt. It's a powerful response to declining competitiveness, and it's a decisive means to seize new opportunities. So that's important to keep in mind. Obviously, any business guru will talk about it and about the importance to innovate and to review your business model. I'll let you read the quotes. And really, it means that your business model, so you remember the pyramid and the three components that we have described. You have obviously all the classical competitive environment trend and changes. Remember Porter that came into play, but you have also the global macro environment that force you to reinvent yourself on a continuous basis. And today, for large corporation, it's not always easy. And you see that the lifespan of big companies that seems to be there forever sometimes reduce because they cannot reinvent themselves. And you see more and more startups growing very fast, and that replace some current incumbent technology. And it's also due to a mindset of risk aversion. During the last year, there was a lot of focus on efficiency, cost effectiveness, operational improvement, and all this, of course, is key. But you don't need to forget to innovate and to reinvent yourself. So that makes the concept of business model innovation key. Some companies do it really well. If you look at SAP, that's just an illustration. And again, I haven't looked at the shares right now during the crisis, but that's a company that has been able to innovate at different steps to adapt its services. And you see that everywhere. So again, I'll let you read the slides, but a lot of startups, they are able to disrupt traditional companies. The most obvious one in the hotel industry, Airbnb, that has really disrupted the well-established group that have been there for decades. But it's not only startup, right? A lot of innovation comes from outstanding companies. Drive Now has been launched by BMW, so it's not very profitable yet, but they've been able to launch it. Adidas is also super agile. So you have plenty of examples. And in one of the articles that I have attached from Christensen and Harvard, published in Harvard Business Review, he really highlights clearly that there are 4 strategic circumstances that often require business model change. So when you see one of those 4 instances, you need to think, well, maybe I should adapt my business model either in an offensive way or in a defensive way. So if you see an opportunity to address the need of a large group of potential new customer, think about it and think how you can adapt your business model. A good example, although it didn't work as well as expected, but that was the Tata Nano to address the booming Indian market with an automobile. If you can capture a brand new technology, and we've talked extensively already about iPhones, that was the iPad at the time, the iPod. But if you move first, clearly you can have an important first mover advantage. Remember, we talked about that in the previous class. Bring a job to be done focus. Well, just define something new, like FedEx did with the express delivery that did not exist. And then the defensive move, if you need to respond to a shifting basis of competition. If something really changed, if your market gets commoditized, then you probably need to adapt something in your business model. So you'll have more explanation in the article with some nice examples. So I invite you to read it. This one I will skip. So consider this as more for information framework. I think we have seen enough framework in this class to add another one. And this one is more important. Successful business model innovation requires a combined technology and market perspective. So you have different cases. You have the pure technology push. That's this one. we have invented something new, but we don't know exactly what to do with it. And there is a big question mark because, it might be brand, but does the customer really need it? So sometimes indeed it creates a new need, but sometimes it's just useless. That's why it's very important to start from the customer need, obviously. Then you have the intelligent technology push towards a clear pain point. So with which technology can we solve this problem? So that's what I meant. You start with a pain point, something that is disturbing, that is annoying your customer, and you ask yourself, okay, how can I solve it, and how can I solve it with technology? You have the iterative process. Is this need important to the customer? With which technology can we improve it? Let's try out, and if it creates value in practice. So it's basically the same, but much more iterative, and so progressively the gray line will become blue because you will more and more touch of very profound needs of your customer. And then sometimes, yeah, you create a new need. So that's really the inspiration and ideation. From which other fields can we get inspiration? How can we experience the journey to our customer? So that's more unusual, that's more difficult, but very brilliant companies, brilliant business people, they are able to create new needs. Okay, I'll stop that, and I'll zoom on the last chapter in the next and last video for today. Thank you.